Danny Gilfillan for Boxing News. I've got to ask you about this David Morrell fight. I'm sure you're sick of being asked about it. We've heard it's close for quite a while now. From your point of view, how your talks progressing? Is that something we'd expect maybe the first quarter of 2026?
Well, hopefully, yeah, that's what I've been told. The first Jan-Feb 2026, it's supposed to happen. So yeah, that's my next fight. That's got to be my next fight. It's been ordered by the WBO. So I was a bit frustrated I couldn't have a fight in the meantime to stay active. It's looking like it's going to be another 12 months out the ring, which isn't ideal, but yeah, it's a fight that I like. I think he's a very, very good fighter, and it's a fight that I know that I need to perform, I need to prepare right for and be at my best to beat him, and they're the type of fights I want to be involved in. They're what get me motivated, so I'm looking forward to starting camp properly and I'm putting the right game plan together to get the job.
What's your assessment of David Morrell? What did you take away from his fight with Katayev? It was one that he was a pretty heavy favourite in going to. Some people thought he was a bit fortunate to get the decision. Was there anything about him that impressed you that night? Anything you saw maybe I can exploit?
I just think he's skillful. He's very skillful. He's got a lot of boxing ability. I think he was a bigger puncher down at 168. I think he was bigger for the weight, whereas I think at light heavy he's probably doesn't have the same size advantage as what he once had at 168. So I don't think his power is probably as good up at 175. That could come back to bite me on the ass, to be fair. But yeah, I don't think he hits as hard at 175 as he did at 168. But skill-wise, he's a good slick southpaw, and I say he's going to put a lot of problems in front of me that I need to solve.
It's funny you say that, because you look as if you're hitting harder at 175 than you did at 168. Why do you think it maybe hasn't translated the same way for Morrell? Because a lot of people would probably agree with you.
Yeah, I don't know if he needed to move up, if that makes sense. I don't know if he just moved up to Benavidez, chased the Benavidez fight. He got offered was it the interim title or the regular title against Rajakovic or something. So I don't know if it was just more for, because all the belts were kind of tied up with Canelo at 168, so Benavidez moved up, he moved up. I don't know whether it was more just for the opportunity rather than he couldn't make 168 anymore, if that makes sense. So maybe that's why his power hasn't kind of moved up with him. But like I said, it could come back and bite me. His power might be even better at 175. But just from what I'm seeing, I don't think he's got the same size advantages as what he once had at 168.
The last thing I want to ask you about Callum is fight I'm sure you're going to have a very close eye on, David Benavidez, Anthony Yarde. People saying it's a big ask for Anthony. He's stepped up twice against, of course, very good fighters and fell short. How do you anticipate he's going to get on against David Benavidez?
Yeah, it's a good fight. Look, I think Yarde's shown he can fight when the chips are down. But I don't know, I do favour Benavidez. I think he's getting better and better as the fight's going on. I think 175 probably suits him a little bit more than 168. And I don't know, I think stylistically, the pace he sets and the punch outputs is probably the wrong style for someone like Yarde. But no, it's a good fight, and again one that I pay close attention to, because I'll hopefully fight the winner somewhere down the line.
I think you said to me last time we spoke that the Benavidez fight's one you've had your eye on for a long time. You were both at super middleweight at the same time. I think it was inevitable. You would both move up. What does a fight between you and him look at like in the ring? And is he the one you'd prefer out of him and Dmitry Bivol if it is the world title shot?
No, I don't know. They're both, obviously, I love the Bivol fight. I think he's the man to beat. He's the best in the division at the minute, and we boxed as amateurs, so I've knew of him for a long time. So I've always wanted that fight, but the Benavidez one, I just feel one that I always thought should have happened and would happen at some point. We were both 168 at the same time, now we're both 175, and I think stylistically it gels pretty well. We're both big, but both like to have a fight up close as well, so I think stylistically that's probably the better fight to watch. But at the minute, look, Bivol's the man in the division. He's the number one in the world. He's the man you need to beat. Even if I was to go and beat Benavidez, I'll still be sitting number 2 in the rankings behind Bivol. So if you want to be the best, you've got to go and fight Bivol. But they're the two men holding the belts in the division, so they're who I want to fight.
Lastly, how good does it feel to be in the conversation for those mega fights again? People were writing your obituary before the Joshua Buatsi fight, and now it seems back bigger than ever and in the mix for some absolutely huge fights, as I say.
Yeah, it's good. It's somewhere where I always believed I'd be. But a year ago, my career was finished, and I was the underdog going into the Buatsi fight. But it shows what a good win or a good performance can put you right back in the mix. But I feel it's where I belong. I believe I'm one of the best light heavyweights in the world. I've always said I'm good enough to be a 2-weight world champion, and I'm very close to achieving that, and it's something that I'm very confident I can do.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing those fights. Callum Smith, all the best. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
Mate, appreciate it. Cheers, Callum.